What's up, guys? Focus back with another video. We have a lot to talk about in today's crypto roundup. Wow. Historical day yesterday, 5/19/2021. Mark in your calendars. That was just absolute utter insanity. I hope you guys are doing all right. This stuff definitely isn't for anybody, for everybody. And even for someone like myself who's been dealing in high variance equities and different types of risky investments for well over a decade, that was intense. So part of getting through these types of scenarios, getting through these times is, and even dealing with what just happened, is reviewing and having a plan. So let's go ahead and get to the charts and start doing that. All right, so one thing I want to comment on first of all is I know these videos, when I post them immediately, they don't come out in high def res. They take a while to process. YouTube's been very slow with that recently. So I apologize if you're pulling this up and you can't see the charts and the numbers well. I'm going to try and be more verbal about saying the numbers. Pay attention to my mouse the most. But I will say that after a couple hours of this video being posted, it does go high def. Maybe watch it again, check it out, and you're going to get a better piece of information. So we went over Bitcoin, Ethereum, a couple main coins about a day or two ago, and we analyzed these spots that you're seeing right in front of you. And I told you these were the spots I felt like Bitcoin was still going to drop to, right? Like this is where we were going. Because at the time, I think we were in the 44 to 42 range, something of that nature, 41 range, maybe even. No, it wasn't 41 because it didn't break that white. So it was in like the 42 to 44 range. I felt like red box was going to be visited. Oh boy, was the red box visited, and some. As you can see, we went down to this heavy support area where there's a ton of liquidity. And if you notice, look at all the red candles. That's what had me drawing off right here as a backup. But look, we busted right through it. And I'm going to talk about why that happened in a second. But this is what we did. It peaked down to right at, depending on the exchange you're looking at, some got down into the 29s, wicked barely down into the 29s. This one got to right at 32.87. And then shot back. It bounced back. It was the blow-off candle that we're looking for. I talk about the blow-off candles on the top a lot. They signify a top being in. If you turn this candle right here upside down and it was going up, everybody would be calling for that up to be corrected and to go the other way. It's no different when it's going down. So, we had a blow off candle here. We've had a nice rebound candle coming back. We're at the daily, we're on the daily chart. So this is showing the actual daily candles. Let me see if I can get this a little bit wider for you guys. So, we've had a 30,000 right down here. This long candle, which is a good, is almost a doji candle, almost, meaning a long red candle that drew back up to make a long thin line, meaning that it was bought up. That's what that means. And so you're seeing at the bottom of this candle, it was bought up. And then when the candle closed, we closed in that red zone I talked about, right? Like, to me, that was the range where we should have dipped. So why did we go further? And what in the hell happened yesterday? Guys, I've talked about in the video 2 days ago, this market being highly leveraged. You saw it yesterday. Okay, that correction, most corrections are 30 to 40% corrections. We had so much leverage in the market that when we started going down, it just triggered cascaded liquidation after liquidation after liquidation. So some of y'all are like, what are you talking about? Leverage, liquidation, what is that? Well, when I talk to you guys about buying coins, I talk to you guys about buying a coin based on what's called spot trading. Spot trading is like just putting money in a stock, okay? Leverage is essentially options-ish. It's not the best comparison, but because you guys don't know the area, it's simply an options-ish type deal where you're making a hedged bet, and your investment is worth possibly more than its face value. So if I buy for spot, I'm putting in $1,000 as $1,000 investment. If I'm buying on leverage, I'm essentially borrowing against that money to use more money. Now, depending on the leverage used, let's say if I have like 5 times the leverage. Liquidation is when the price goes down to a point where the money you borrowed now isn't enough to pay it back. And then you get liquidated and you can't go any further, so that the people borrowing you the money, lending you the money, don't lose their money, right? So that is basically what liquidation is built around. It's built around you having to pay the debt back and allowing you to use the money to basically make bigger bets. So what people do is they're gambling addicts, like, right? Like they're basic degenerates, and they'll get in there and they'll think they found a bottom, like right up here at this 42,000 white line. They think they found a bottom, and then they're going to go 100x long, and they'll put $1,000 down, and then they're borrowing 100x of that $1,000. Well, if price moves $100 downwards or $200 downwards, they're liquidated. They lose the entire position. This isn't like a trade where, I put in 1,000 for spot value, it goes down, I lose 10%. That means I lost 10%. No, in these scenarios, a 10% loss means you're liquidated. You lose the whole position. So what happens is we have people longing, meaning, buying with leverage in the 38,000 to 40,000 range, which is right here at the top of this red box, basically, from going down maybe a little bit halfway through it. So from here back to the white line was leveraged buying. People were going long. So we had already ripped down through here, and people basically thought they'd found the bottom, and they didn't. And we already had cascaded longs being liquidated in that spot. So they were basically buying in dead spots that were going to be liquidated regardless. And then that threw the price action all the way down to 30. Wait, it wasn't 30,000. Yeah, 30,019. No, 29,929. Okay, there you go. 29,929. Which is why it blew through that and then came back up, because bids placed in here immediately sucked that up. Huge demand in this area, guys. Huge demand in this area. So where are we at? All right, what is this? This is textbook reversal we're seeing right now. Like I said, the wick candle up. People bought up the red candle after a wick down, followed by a green candle right here. Green candles pushed back towards this 42,000 white line, which was a previous all-time high on our run up, right? So this is a big resistance, right? And I want to see it clear it. I don't want to see it stall right here, because then that's going to make me think we're coming back for another test. This needs to move up through here. It needs to clear this, and we need to keep on moving up towards this range of let's see. I can get, let's go ahead and live chart this right quick, just because I need to draw it anyways. I'm going to go with this extended candle line right in this range, because we just have a ton of resistance in this range. Okay. So it needs to start heading up towards this range. It needs to get up here. Now it can get up in here, and then we can see a little correct and another bounce, but I don't want to see it just rebound up through this resistance and not hold this box. We have got to hold this box, and we've got to continue upwards. Otherwise we're not done. It's just that simple. But that said, things look good right now. We had this scenario happen about a year ago during the COVID dip, and it looked ugly, but it just kept on going up in scenarios where it was supposed to have a bearish retest. So keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on this level. This is kind of where we see the marketplace going in terms of Bitcoin. Big levels are these red spots. We get back over. Let's see, move my video so you guys can see the numbers eventually, even though I know you can't see them right now. We get back over this white line right here, 57, 58,000. I'm feeling really good. If we test that, beat that, I'm in a spot where I feel like you should probably go back and reinvest, because it's okay to buy high, because sometimes, when you're going higher and you see these scenarios, it's confirmation. Now let's take a look at what I drew for the other video that I did 2 days ago. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But I showed you the RSI, and we kind of went back to the points like September 2019 we had, November 22 we had, and then the COVID dip. This was the COVID dip. And so this was like our resistance, right? This was our resistance on the RSI, which the RSI, if you didn't watch that video, is basically like a buying indicator. When selling is down, or when things have been sold too much, it's really low. When things have been bought too much, it's really high. So during a really hot run, it's going to have a really high RSI. So you notice like we had that's a pretty big bear div right there showing off. I feel stupid for not seeing that. We'll talk about that in another video. But basically right here, RSI clipped that line, which is historical line, right? We're talking about going back to 2019, and this line's only even been clipped twice in the last 4 years. Another bottom signal, all right? Doesn't mean the bottom is 100% in. Doesn't mean that we're not going to come down and retest that bottom just to strengthen it. But it's a really good sign, right? And all we can do is operate on information that's been given to us. So this is a good sign. It looks good. We've had a very nice bounce since. And keep your eyes on the RSI. That's where we need to see that continuing. So let's move on to ETH. And ETH's in a do or die spot for me too. I want to see ETH bounce right here, or not bounce. I want to see ETH break through right here really bad. This is a red box that I've had marked since May 2nd. ETH did exactly what happened to Bitcoin in terms of the liquidations and the leverage play, and it just wicked. Holy cow, it wicked down. It had a much better response though than Bitcoin did, and has had, it had a much better bounce response than Bitcoin did, as it bought up the original candle and turned it green. If you notice, the Bitcoin's original candle was still red. That said, it was followed by some pretty, swift downward action. Didn't hold the white line. It has now since cleared this white line, which I like. If you remember on Bitcoin, I wanted it to clear this white line where we're at, right? 42,000. To me, ETH's 42,000 line is this 2,600 line, which was the previous high before we went bonkers up to 42. So it's cleared that, right? I like that. But if it wants to revisit these ranges, it has to absolutely pile through this red and continue going up. And then its next test will be if you can, if you're starting to get a little used to what you're looking at, its next test will be right here, where we had, that's too big. Hold up. Let me fix that. Why is that so big? This next test will be, we'll go the length of this candle. Right around here, where there's even a pretty nice SR right there. That's where its next test will be, 3,500 range. But it's got to get through this one. As you can see, it's kind of hopping in the middle of the box, break through, bust through, and then we continue up. Look, retest going down would be in this range, like right through here. We'd see something like this. Actually, it'd be like right there is like a nice little SR. That's where we'd be seeing a retest go down to. We'd want that to hold. And of course, guess what? It's that famous 2,500 level. Didn't even know that before I clicked it. 2,500 level is a pretty big level. But yeah, that's if it goes back down from where it's at 29, I want to see it hold 25, and then it can continue to move forward. ADA with a great response. As you can see, it also had the ETH candle response. Huge red candle that then turned green. Another thing I want to point out here is volume. Bitcoin's volume was meh. It was kind of decent. All right, not great. Look at the green candle here for ETH. Green candle here for ADA. Huge green candle here for Litecoin. People were buying the hell out of alts on this dip. I mean, they absolutely bought the hell out of them. To me, that tells me that market sentiment doesn't believe that this is over. That either means, well, that could end up with a lot of people getting hurt, but it also means we have buyers. And a lot of the problems with continuing markets, especially bull markets, is buyers leave, right? Like buyers didn't leave during this dip, guys. Look at those green candles. They did not leave at all. All right, sorry, back to ADA. So important levels, ADA is in another one right now. Don't have this drawn up, so y'all are getting to see some live charting because I haven't done it since it busted up through here, but there you go. There's that range that ADA is going to be in. That's a strong range. Look at that line. I could draw a straight line across right there. I could draw a straight line across up top. There's an SR up, SR down. This is a strong range. I'd love to see ADA bust through. If ADA gets through this range, it's just going to go right back up to the 240 highs where it was at. So pay attention to where it's at. This range, sorry, I'm not being as descriptive as I said I would be. 181 is this box range to 195. Okay, 181 to 195. And let me go over some box ranges here for you guys too. On Bitcoin, it's 35 up to 40 is the box range right there, with 42,000 being the white line range. What we wanted to see recovered is the white line 58. This has a lot of resistance in the 48 to 52. ETH boxes, the one that we're in right now that we're paying attention to is 2,800 to 3,000, with 26 to 2,500 being the range I told you about. I think a retest would come into. The range it needs to reclaim to start testing all-time highs again is 34 up to 36. All right. Did ADA, we know where that's going on. Litecoin, great price action from Litecoin. Not the candle in terms of the green candle we wanted to see, but post dip, huge green volume candle, which is excellent and good to see. I want to see historical lines recovered because Litecoin's still in that historical range. It's underperformed so much. It held this historical line beautifully, 160. A retest in my mind is going to probably come kind of around this range, probably right here over. So like, where am I at? Yep, it's like a 198 range. We're seeing a lot of SRs right here. This is pretty strong SR. So 194 to 215 range is where I expect all the retests to go. If it doesn't hold the 194, we're coming back to 160 probably to see. Well, maybe not 160 because it already hit there, but it might come back to like, 175 if it doesn't do that. Retest and bounce off. I'd love to see it clear 240, guys. Like this is historical as all hell. The 240 to 280 range is just one that if we can get back over and clear 240, then clear 280 at these two yellow lines right here, Litecoin's going. But it needs to clear those. Those are old historical ranges going back to 2017. So it needs to beat them. They're strong. They're well established. BNB is my buy. Like, I love this buy. Just look at it, already kind of double bottomed, really. Actually, that's a little bit lower. It tested a little bit lower. Look, so BNB is Binance's coin, okay? And Binance is an exchange that has the BSC network. The BSC network is a network you can build upon. It's basically like a clone of other networks that you can build upon. Like it's basically like a clone of Ethereum with cheap fees. It has cheap fees, so it's getting a lot of love, and it has a lot of projects on it that get a lot of love. So it's got a lot of hot projects, and it's kind of like a mini Ethereum in terms of its development, not like where it's at in its development. I'm not going to say it's, I'm not trying to compare it to Ethereum. It's just kind of in the Ethereum world. So if you look on RSIs, like we've been talking about, like you can go back to, we're going back to, geez, what is this? This is March. Yeah. So again, like this is COVID dip type stuff, guys. We haven't seen these RSI levels like we saw on this coin since, the COVID dip. If this is recovering, this is a bounce back up. This is a coin that can go to 1,000. Like that's not even me being exact, being like sensationalist. Like it's one of the hottest coins this whole run. It got absolutely demolished on this drop. Its highs are up right at 700. Moved up to 1,000 after having highs of 700. When you're the hottest coin with the hottest projects in the marketplace, is very feasible. These got heavy bought up, amazing buys if you got in under 300. We're at 400 right now. I want to see this area reclaimed. Okay, I'm about to show it to you. We got a nice area right here, and I want to see it reclaimed. Bounces, all these bounces off of it that started a bump, bounces off of it that failed to impulse through. rip throughs that didn't hold, rip throughs that didn't hold. Great area. This area is 450 to 490. Okay, so if this coin runs up to 450 and rejects, I think we're going to go down and we'll retest probably this SR right here. Okay, you'll see that SR. SR means bump up through, bounce down, take off. We'll probably retest right around that 365 range, and that would be in a big time buy if it held. Big time buy. But if we get through this and it reclaims and you get over 500 and we're holding, like that's 500 to 1,000. So BNB is a great coin. Check it out. You can buy it on Binance. Obviously, it's a Binance coin. And it's I know it ripped, right? Like everything did. It went from basically 700 down to 280. Like that's insane. You can leverage trade Binance though. So again, people gambling. Just straight up gambling, over leveraged, trying to catch bottoms, causing huge cascading dips. So, Binance was a part of that. That's why it took such a massive dip, but that's not where its price value is at. Lastly, Doge. So I drew this last time for you guys, and this was the triangle that we were in that we wanted to hold. I think we were at 41. I was like, yeah, we need to hold this, bounce off, and then break to the up. But sometimes it breaks to the down. Yeah, well, we broke to the down. So it didn't hold it, and it just, man, I mean, look at that. 21 cents. That said, if you zoom out, look what we have here. We have a trend, and that's not a downward trend. We also have a solid volume candle right here, not an Elon Musk buy volume candle when this thing went up to 70 cents, which was insane, but one of the top candles in the last couple months, probably the second highest candle since April. Yeah, a month ago. All right, so good volume. I want to see us clear this level, this white line where it's battling at right now, and I want to see it get back into that triangle, and I want to see it break up. Like that's really simple. So that white line right now is at 41 cents. It's literally on this white line. Like it's literally battling the level I want to see it beat. If it beats this 41 cent level and starts to break towards the up and then comes down and handles a 41 cent retest, it might be a full cent coin because it's probably going to run pretty hard after that. And that's what it is. I'm not a Dogecoin fan, just because it's not necessarily a functional coin. I've talked about that before on here. It doesn't even have devs, but now Elon's says he's starting to work with the devs. Whatever. Point is this coin is going to run, and it's been running, and the volume's still there, and the buyers aren't going away. So you're silly to ignore coins that run. So just play it the best you can. If this market continues, it gets out of this bear mentality, and it gets through this 41, then we break through, and you can play it, you can bounce it, and catch the next run. So if you notice this video, we've gone down, we've bounced, we're looking solid, but we're not out of the woods. We still have lines that we need to cover. We still have areas we need to reclaim. But let's just keep on looking for those areas, keep on playing on those areas, and reference this video if you see things that you're confused with. Reference this video and places to buy. We'll have another video coming out for you guys soon. Discord group still being worked on. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, check out some of the old videos. I appreciate y'all.